3A is the report and discuss, take action on approving the minutes of the Cemetery Advisory Board, November 18th to 2025. Everybody said.
I'll move that we accept the minutes.
I'd second.
The motion and second, any discussion? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Staff updates. 4A, receive report and hold discussion on fiscal year 2026 Q1 cemetery summary report. First, let me express my appreciation for us being provided that information. And I was shocked to see how little the cemetery earned compared to the budget. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Chair and Board. So we did not receive any questions, but if you have any questions, we can answer them now. So I figured I'd just kind of go over the report that you got, just to kind of briefly go through that. The top part that shows our revenue general fund, when you look at it there, that is what we anticipate to bring in based on historical budgets in the past that have produced revenue. You'll see activity, that's what we bring in to date based on when we run the report. So this is from October 1 to the end of December, so the first quarter. So it's faring pretty good for the most part, based on expectations. And then you'll see under that, you'll see our expenses. That first line item, or third column over, that'll be what is budgeted for each of those line items, some of which we don't have control over, things like salaries being set, workers' compensation, things like that. So those are line items that we keep abreast to, but that we don't really have a lot of control over. And then as you go down, you'll see things like training and travel and maintenance. Those are the ones where we have a lot of.
Could I ask you to move
over?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Thank you.
Okay. So those line items are going to be the ones that we really keep an eye on and manage day to day. And then you'll see over from that, you'll see total activity columns. That again is where we are at within the report run time frame, so within the third month, the first quarter. And then you'll see at the very bottom of both of those, the revenue and the expenses are total anticipated and or budget versus expenses and revenue that we brought in. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them. If you don't and you have questions later, you're also welcome to send them over to Sherry and then we can get you answers. But this was something that y'all asked to see, so we wanted to make sure that we at least gave you some opportunity to discuss it.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
You have provided this before, but what is the price of a lot in Fairview?
I don't have the fee structure on me right now.
$1,050 for a single lot.
Okay, and roughly how full is the cemetery?
I don't really have a percentage because I'm still working on the migration errors to figure out which ones didn't make it over, because the ones that have burial made it over to our sim sites. The ones that are reserved and not filled yet didn't. So I have about 18,000 records to migrate over. I've gone through about 6,000 of them. So, but I would say I can tell you how many blocks we have that we sell out of. The rest of them we don't sell out of. We have 8 MG, the big one at Pear Lane, 7 MG, the one right across the street from it, that are doubles. We still sell lots out of Hartley Edwards 2. We still have quite a few there. And we still sell lots out of Block W and the columbarium. I think I have 18 left in the columbarium. And the whole Garden of Tranquility there's only about 6 burials in the entire garden.
It just seems to me that price is extraordinarily low, what we sell lots for.
So we do have an annual fee adjustment process. And this year we did increase some fees based on, Sherry did most of the footwork on what, basically we survey other areas that do similar business and their structures and their fees so that we can be consistent. And so we don't always change adjust fees for everything across the board. But we did make adjustments this year to shore up some of that.
But what you're saying is there's plenty of room out there? Okay. Because as soon as the lots actually basically get sold, there's a big hole in the budget. It's, at some point,
Yes. Our budget has to grow as we take on more care.
at some point, we need to be collecting enough to actually fill that hole when, 20 years from now or 30 years from now, we need a foundation behind this cemetery or something. And I just know that prices in the Metroplex are 20 times what we sell for.
Yeah, we can definitely, like, we look at this every June,
Okay.
and so we can always reconsider that, look at it again.
I'm not saying we need to put a Metroplex type price on it.
Sure.
Of $30,000 a lot or something, but this seems like we're creating a problem somewhere down a generation from now.
I understand.
Okay. That was my comment.
What would be our peer, do you like peer cities or just you look for cemeteries?
I don't know who the
Similar-
surveys were, Sherry,
similar.
you might be able to speak to some of that. Generally, we try to stay local,
Oh, okay.
at least regional based, so.
West Hill, Sherman Cemeteries, Van Alstine, Durant, that one in Durant, that's Highland something or other. We don't include Cedar Lawn because Cedar Lawn is an entirely different structure. It's a full-service memorial garden. It's not just lots. That's why they get $10,000 per burials, because they do everything. But just the lot. Local, even though you're correct, it is lower. And last year, ever since I've been here for the last 4 years, it's only been $950 for a lot. Hadn't changed in the last 15 years. It's been somewhere between $850 and $950 for as far as I can see back in the minutes, as far back as 2010.
But something to consider.
And we
when
finally
we do-
brought it up.
Sorry. Something to consider when we do these fee adjustments is we don't want to do drastic fee adjustments, because then we get a lot of feedback from that. So when we don't adjust for a very long extended period of time, we kind of have to take that slow. So we can always, like I said, in June, we can reconsider another increase at that time. It's what we do across the board when we see that things need to adjust, we take
If
them in
this is
smaller
a private
increments.
cemetery, they'd be looking at raising enough fees and putting a certain amount away in a foundation to support the cemetery 100 years from now. It wouldn't bother me at all if the city looks at it and going, okay, we're gonna raise it to $2,000 and put $200 for each lot sold in some kind of trust fund. What?
We do have a fund. It's a open and care, or open and close fund, where it draws in money. But it's not something that we can dip our hands into. It's something that feeds the.
Well, I understand it's all part of the city budget, but I'm just looking a generation or so from now, or 2 generations from now,
Sure.
where the city's gonna have a big line item to take care of all these cemeteries and no funds put away to do it. And I'm
Well,
worried
those-
about that.
Sure, I understand. All of the revenue that comes in, regardless of what department it comes in, it feeds the bottom line. So it feeds the operational budget. So it does go into that. It's not necessarily dedicated back to the cemeteries. That's something that would have to be discussed on a different level. But that money does go to feed the city, you know what I mean? As far as a cost,
So what you're saying is the monies that we receive go back to the city,
yes, ma'am,
not into just cemetery?
yes. But, yes, unless it is that one, but it's being utilized, we still get funded, all of these things from the same line item. So while it doesn't necessarily go directly, say, we spend $30,000, it goes into our general fund. Our budget that we receive is from that general fund. So while it doesn't necessarily stay directly in cemeteries as a revenue-based account, it does go to the account that funds are operating for the year.
Yeah, my question really should be for the city council.
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you planning for the future when these cemeteries are
Yeah,
getting to be filled up and
good point.
that they ought to be establishing some kind of fund, and it'd be easy to do it if they think far enough ahead, kind of like Social Security. If you take care of the problem early, you don't have a problem later.
And, yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know the legalities behind creating such a fund. So that would be questions that we would have to ask that would probably be best answered by our accounting department.
Yeah, okay, appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Let me ask one other one. The adopted budget shows you're gonna earn $133,000,
Anticipatedly, yes.
and so far you earned $25,350.
Yes, sir.
Can't stay in business very long. Yeah. Do you all take the position, if it's in the budget, you can spend it?
If it's in line items that we can spend from, yes. Like I said, there are some of them that we can't control.
So the city's constantly having to put money into this fund to keep it going.
This fund operates like every other department and division fund. So it is fund through the budget process every annual year that's approved by city council. So the answer to that is yes, but that's how every department operates. It's not different from any other department that's funded within the city.
Well, do the finance people ever come back and say, you're in the red so far, what can you do to reduce the expenses?
Yes.
So we can close that gap some, but
Yes, sir. We have those discussions all year long. Mhm.
any other questions? Thank you for the information. Back to 4B, the fence project.
Afternoon, Board Chair and Board members.
Thank you.
Oh, can you hear me? Yep,
If you
okay.
get close to it, we can.
How's that? Okay. Good afternoon, Advisory Board Chair and Board members. Just a reminder of my name and my title, Victor Ricano, Cemetery Manager. We're going over some slides for the fence project. These pictures show here staff putting in some bollards at the pedestal. The pedestal is the swiper device that's going to allow cemetery staff to come in before hours while the gate is closed. We have signs up now that state the hours at the other gates, and we will be manually closing those whenever we leave before 3:30. The main gate will remain open. As long as there's daylight, that fence, that gate will remain open. And the hours for that is basically dawn to dusk. The other ones will be closed manually and open manually every morning and before we go home. As you can see here, the bollards are complete. So right now we have an IT device that's gonna allow both keys by the fire department to enter in case of a fire or emergency during after hours. So once that device is once that device is installed, we will be able to give the city green light by announcing it on the newsletter, letting them know that the other gates will be remaining closed after hours, and again, open by us manually every morning from here on out. So with that being said, with the signs being up, that's gonna allow all visitors to visually see the hours and signs on where they're allowed to come in. This is Magnolia. You can see the gate closed. and the and the column on the left. We're moving on to the clean sweep. We're about a third.
Let's go back just a minute.
Okay.
While we're on the cemetery project, I was there a couple of days ago, no, a couple of weeks ago now. And that monument to Chris McKinney is on the back side of the column. You have to look through the gate to see it.
Yes, sir, that's where it was designed to go. That's where the outline of the brick was laid out, so it can be installed there. Yes, it is there.
From my perspective, it was a bad decision. It needs to be corrected.
Okay. Where would
If
you?
you're exiting the cemetery, you can look through the bars on the gate. You couldn't read it unless you got out. But that's a poor place to have put it.
Okay. Is there a proposed location?
Well, I think outside, or maybe we ought to talk about it.
So what I will say with the location that was picked, two considerations to keep in mind is one, originally the gate was supposed to be a swing gate. And so when that changed, the direction of the gate swung that direction. At that point and during that time of construction, it had been designed because there has to be some specific brick put on that large wall in order for that plaque to adhere to it. So that location, we were kind of already in the mix when we had figured out that the gate wasn't going to work long-term as far as a maintenance standpoint. So that's one reason why it sits there. Now, when the system gets turned on, the gate will be closed. So anytime somebody approaches it to leave, it won't have a gate over it. It'll be in place, and then it will move. So it won't be as obstructed as it appears to be right now that the gate stays open the whole
Now,
time.
say again.
So originally, the gate was not designed to swing that direction. Because it's a sliding gate, we came to find out after construction and things like that, that a sliding gate was gonna be more conducive to maintenance, long-term maintenance. So we made that decision. At that point, the construction of the brick, it requires a flat surface for that plaque to adhere to. That was already designed, so that was the location. Now, what to keep in mind, what you see right now is the gate stays open 100% of the time, which is why it appears to be obstructed. When the Knox box goes in that he was referring to earlier, that system, the gate will stay closed, and it will open on a basis of entry, okay? At that point, when people exit, it won't be as obstructed as it appears to be all the time now.
So you're telling me that the gates will be closed, and so if I want to go in the cemetery, it'll open,
Yes.
and then I come in, and then when I'm ready to exit, then the gates will open up. All day?
Are you
Is this
having
what's
it?
happening all day?
You're gonna have it open? Okay. That was the original design and the structure. If we can always change the mode of the gate. So it appears that we've changed operations and now the gate is gonna be open while we're there. And then when we leave, it'll initiate where people
Yeah,
can
but-
come and go.
Yeah, but that's defeating the purpose, what we're talking about. Because if it's closed when you leave, then nobody's in there and nobody can get out.
No, the gate will always allow you, by standard access and law, you cannot impede a person's ability to exit. So it will not be an issue ever for somebody to exit the cemetery. They will always be able to exit. That gate is only to control entry. So,
Let me
we
ask,
do acknowledge what you're saying as far as location. But that would require a whole nother reconstruction and movement to the other side. And it's not something that we can't consider. It's just something that we're going to have further conversations about if we moved that.
Should we have a?
well, I just wonder what the cost would be. You know, Jack Golf, the sign that was put up on the Katy Trail for him, right? It's down by the station coming south from the Waterloo. that was a very simple thing. It's just a concrete base with a pole with a sign on it. That kind of thing could be done as an alternative on the inside, or, you know, the cemetery side of the gate rather than the fence side.
On a post, is that what
On
you're
a
referring to?
post
That
with
is
the sign.
definitely, if we made changes, that's
Something
definitely.
simple that you'd see the sign whenever you're coming in and out. You could read it if you wanted to. It's not outside the cemetery. But there are some alternatives, and I think there is a feeling from the board that we could raise the money to move that sign. Now, if it was me, it wouldn't matter to me if a tree was planted in front of the sign for me, but, you know, I just soon not have my name up there, but for Chris, I would gladly entertain.
So you want it moved instead of having an additional plaque? Would
Yeah,
that,
to move it.
Yeah, just to the other
Move it?
side of the fence itself.
And if we're talking about looking at mounting it on a pole, that's a very feasible thing that we can look into. Now, if we're talking about relocating it to another portion on that concrete built sign, that's when it becomes difficult and what we would really have to consider. But
Okay.
we can definitely explore a post-mounted sign,
Okay.
that
Well,
definitely.
that seems to be
Wouldn't it go on that pillar?
no,
no, because I have
where the, if the
Right
fence, if the fence is here and the gate is sliding back and forth in front of the fence,
Yeah.
you just put a post on the other side of the gate
Oh, I see.
to where the sign is always visible.
Can we have another meeting to discuss this, or how do you?
I would like to suggest that maybe we get some kind of numbers for doing that kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Relocating.
fixing up the post and the brickwork that's there, the column, and then we can have further
Yeah,
discussions
sure,
on it.
sure.
For maybe next meeting or something. Okay. Thank you.
Moving on to our Clean Sweep program. We're about a third into the way of being able to identify and log in all of our flags that we've had since the first week of November, 2.5 months approximately before we started this clean sweep in January 12th. So we are having minor, a lot of phone calls are coming in, and obviously the numbers to Sherry's office. They're being logged in, and every time that we remove a flag and letting them know, we're taking pictures, we're logging everything in, we're labeling each item that we're removing that's not authorized to be there, whether it be a ceramic, angel, glass, vase, that's not authorized. Everything's being stowed and kept in a safe place. And this is what it looks like before and after.
Victor, is that in the first one, the red flag is for that little?
No, they actually had, somebody just had a bunch of flowers.
I see, okay.
And so we're calling it, the acronym is FIG, flowers in the ground. So it is, the city ordinance states that you have to have either a bronze or granite or a hard plastic vase. It doesn't need to be installed on the base or the foundation of the monument.
I'm talking about this little thing that you get until you have a sign.
The temporary marker. Yes.
Yes.
But behind it, it was a bunch of dead
Yes, I
flowers.
understand that,
Yes.
but to have that little marker, that's not an objection?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
The monument company, so we're in the midst of
But
making
some
contact with them.
people-
Whenever they lay the monument down, the temporary marker should come up.
But sometimes they're there for a long, long time.
It is, we have seen temporary markers for at least over 2 decades old.
No, Mark, yeah,
You know, I have a great niece or whatever that,
right, one of Mark's relatives. Yeah.
that's to be rectified soon, I have
Oh,
a feeling.
okay, yeah, okay. Don't want you to be in non-compliance, Mark.
No.
so y'all are retrieving these items?
Yes.
The family can pick them up, they're recorded, family can come get them if they want to.
Absolutely. And we have bubble wrap, we have construction paper, we have packing tape. They're being handled with care.
Yeah.
Whatever was broken, we bag them up, and Mother Nature, 40, 60 mile per hour gust, a ceramic angel will fall and crack. But they're being handled with care. And again, everything's being logged in carefully, line item by line item, stowed and handled with care.
Good.
Any other questions concerning the sweep?
Would any damage to the cemetery from the ice storm?
Just broken water lines that are taking forever to fix, because between our day-to-day operations and ground maintenance and burials and cremations, we're just handling them one by one. So a lot of visits to Johnson and Burke and other plumbing houses to get parts, but that's about it. No. As far as monuments, if you get a monument that has a granite vase without a seep hole, everybody knows that ice expands, and that expensive granite vase will crack. So those are individual concerns that families should have for
But
their.
no damage to any of the buildings out there?
No damage to buildings, no,
Okay.
sir.
What are the opening and closing fees?
It depends on what type.
For a ground burial?
Okay, for a casket burial, Monday through Friday, with a graveside tent and chair, it's $15.25.
$15.25.
And if you don't want the graveside tent and chair, then it's $1,300. And if it closes after 3 p.m., you add $200 to it, or if it's on a Saturday, you add another $200. So it's between $1,300 and $1,725. That's the range.
Well, just looking at the opening, closing fees, $14,100 income, that's what, 10 or 12 burials?
Approximately, but it's slow right now. This is not I know that sounds tacky, but this isn't the burial season. There are parts of the year that it really increases a lot. And we went up significantly. Our fees this year, our open and close went up significantly. I still have to look at my fee schedule to remind myself that it's gone up.
Anything else? Item 4D, discussion on the cemetery project updates.
Yes, we have here, we had 4 areas of concern, and with the help of Public Works and Streets, we were able to identify 4 areas out there at the 60 acres for Fairview Cemetery that were concerned, and they were able to help us. This here is at block 23. You can see the side view, multiple layers of asphalt between those wooden bollards. And they came and put some asphalt and some gravel underneath it, so it's no longer a concern. It was a safety hazard for a while. We had cones out there, but now they fixed one part. Over here is in the backside of the middle of the cemetery. There is a turn here, which is south of a chapel, that was deteriorating. They went back and plowed through it, and we were able to pack down some gravel there and widen it. Here's another area that is by Ann Gary's plot. There was a hole that I'm sure she identified at some time or another, and they were able to pack it and put some fresh asphalt down. As you can see, that's the before and after picture, 2 different angles. And last but not least, this is a hedgerow over there by 84, adjacent to 84. A culvert was deteriorating. The road was deteriorating as well. So they came back and flattened it, spread gravel everywhere, and made it look like that. Moving on to another project of ours, we have had some road erosion work a couple years ago over there on Pear Lane, which is the south entrance. Some concerns arose where families couldn't walk across, so we got some wood, some pressure-treated wood, and made some walkways. We built them, stained them, and set them. We have 4 walkways out there for people to walk and visit their loved ones. Still in the meantime, maintaining road erosion. Moving on, this is a bridge over there by Block 3. The picture on the left shows metal poles that were just laid there, and that was unsafe when I first started about 4 years ago. So we carefully moved them up. As you can see, the middle picture, the backhoe has all of them as much as possible to try to move them off. The picture on the right shows the metal poles removed. So slowly but surely, we were able to construct a better looking walkway. That's James Mann, our lead crew there on the left-hand picture. It got set and stained the middle picture, and the picture on the right is the after. We would have put piers, and we were able to set that structure down to have people cross over the bridge, over the little river bend there. And that's it. Any questions on projects?
I think, no questions on that, but there is a proposed, Sherry, in October, the tour maybe.
You want that on new business? Want to add the new business? I think she's asking for.
Well, I just want,
On the October, planned October tour by
I just wanted to address it to Victor that need to look forward to that, see what we can do. I'm sorry, what?
We'll be meeting on that soon with Brian. It had to be rescheduled because of the ice storm. So Brian is supposed to meet with Amanda.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
going to meet with everyone. It's just that we're
Okay.
working
All
to
right.
get that rescheduled.
I'm sorry, I did not know that. Okay.
Any other business? Not, we're adjourned.